Hey guys, today I'm going to react to this video about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and the race to space. Um, I think it's pretty interesting. I really like space and it's cool to see people striving to help us get there or make it more affordable for like everybody instead of just, the people who went through the schooling and, pretty much the lucky few. So I'm pretty excited to react to this and to see like what they're doing. It'll be pretty interesting.
If they're not fighting it out for who has the biggest net worth in the world, now Elon Musk and
Right? It's
Jeff
crazy.
Bezos' rivalry has been cemented in the space industry. Ever since their respective companies of SpaceX and Blue Origin were formed, the two have battled it out for dominance of the galaxy. And recently,
Like
it
Star
got
Wars.
even more intense. Today, we're going to take a look at the two billionaire behemoths on their race to space, such as a multi-billion-dollar NASA contract
Wow.
that further divided the two firms. We'll also explore a number of other instances the two have clashed over the years. So, let's get started.
Okay.
During 2017, NASA got underway with the Artemis program. The mission was simple: get Americans back onto the moon. The last time
Okay.
NASA got people there was in 1972 for the Apollo program. As such, it's long overdue. The Artemis program also has two additional goals: to get the first woman and the first person of color onto the lunar
Oh, that's really
surface.
cool.
The aim is to undertake the mission by the mid-2020s. In February 2021, the NASA Office of Inspector General stated that up until 2025, the Artemis program will cost around $86 billion.
Wow, that's insane.
Due to this, NASA was looking for a company to develop the first commercial human lander. This machine would get the history-making crew to touch down on the moon's surface. The reason for looking for outside help is to reduce the cost of the agency, as well
makes
as
sense.
encourage private enterprises to venture into space. During April 2020, a number of space companies were selected by NASA to design and develop human landing systems, or
Interesting.
HLSs. On one side, we have Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin. On the other, Elon Musk and SpaceX. Finally,
yeah.
there was Alabama-based firm Dynetics also in the running. The joint cost of this
Never heard
contract
of them.
came to $967 million for a 10-month period. However, this was later extended to 12 months. Blue Origin received a bigger slice of the money, with $579 million since their plan was further along, while Dynetics got $253 million and SpaceX won $135 million. By
Okay.
April 2021, NASA chose SpaceX to develop their design of the Starship HLS, which surprised many as it seemed like the space agency would pick two companies to develop the HLS. The
Yeah,
milestone-based
that's weird.
contract's value came to $2.89 billion.
Wow.
NASA states that their plan is to launch 4 astronauts within the Orion spacecraft via their own Space Launch System rocket. After reaching the moon's orbit, 2 of the astronauts will depart and get into SpaceX's Starship HLS. Once they reach the surface, they'll spend a week there to explore the area. Eventually, the astronauts will essentially do the reverse journey to return to Earth. Shortly after the announcement, Blue Origin and Dynetics teamed up to contest the contract being awarded to their rival. The two believe that NASA's decision was based on flawed evaluations of the bid,
What?
as well as their decision to only select one company. The companies filed their protest with the U.S.'s Government Accountability Office, while in response, Elon Musk tweeted a tongue-in-cheek comment about Blue Origin's struggle to launch a rocket into orbit. In May
Of course Elon would.
2021,
He
it was
loves
announced
tweeting
that
that
after
stuff.
missing out on the lucrative NASA contract, Blue Origin was in line to receive some funding from the U.S. government. The money would be provided through the Endless Frontier Act, which was formed to help keep the U.S.'s space program competitive with other countries. The cash would be given to NASA, which is expected to be funneled to Bezos' firm. If the funding goes through, Blue Origin will receive $10 billion.
Wow.
In the first 3 months of 2021, Blue Origin spent a reported $625,000 on lobbying officials for this amount of cash. However, not everyone is
That's
happy with this
crazy.
so-called bailout. At the time of writing, Senator Bernie Sanders is looking to amend the bill in order to remove this massive funding. Sanders stated to The Intercept, quote, "It does not make a lot of sense to me that we would provide billions of dollars to a company owned by the wealthiest guy in America," unquote. So, watch
Yeah,
this
it is
space.
kind of strange. Like,
This isn't the first time that
lend him
SpaceX
so
and
much
Blue
money.
Origin's rivalry has been showcased. During 2013, NASA announced they were looking to lease out Launch Complex 39A at the Kennedy Space Center. The complex was built as part of the Apollo program. It was believed that by renting it
Wow,
out,
that's
the
so
agency
cool.
could save more than $1 million annually in maintenance fees. By 2014, NASA awarded a 20-year lease of LC-39A to SpaceX over Blue Origin. Afterwards, Bezos' company leased Cape Canaveral Air Force Station's Launch Complex 36 during 2015. The deal is expected to bring in $200 million into the local Florida economy, while the pad itself is reported to have cost $1 billion.
Wow.
Then, during 2014, SpaceX petitioned against Blue Origin in order to invalidate their patents for a rocket able to land on ships at sea. In the end, the judge mostly ruled in SpaceX's favor. 13 of the 15 patents were withdrawn by Blue Origin.
Wow, that's
And
crazy.
to rub salt into the wound, during 2016, SpaceX successfully landed their Falcon 9 rocket
Wow,
onto
that's
a
so cool.
floating platform at sea. Whilst in 2018, the U.S. Air Force funded a number of companies' proposals in developing a launch system prototype. Those selected included Northrop Grumman, United Launch Alliance, and, of course, Blue Origin. Altogether, the contracts totaled $2.3 billion, with Blue Origin receiving $500 million for their New Glenn rocket.
Wow.
Well, SpaceX weren't happy. Instead, in 2019, they filed a lawsuit against the government. They claimed that the contracts were wrongly awarded for, quote, a portfolio of 3 unproven rockets based on unstated metrics, unquote.
Oh, yeah.
The case was rejected by the judge in 2020. However, also in 2020, the contract between...
I just think it's crazy how, like, you know, like, I mean, obviously the goal here is to get to space and, you know, work on, like, rockets and stuff, but how there's, like, so much, like, drama between these two. And it almost makes me wonder if it's a result of the whole, like, you know, like, oh, who's wealthier, because there's, like, almost like this competition between the two, because it's like they go, like, back and forth. It's crazy. Like, I wish they would just, like, work together. Like, if they all just work together, it would be so much better, and there'd be, like, so much more progression. But I feel like there's so much competition here, and probably, like, a lot of money to be made, that's why they don't want to. They want to dominate. They don't want to have anybody to share it with, which is crazy. But it is what it is.
the Air Force and Blue Origin was canceled. The space company had only received $255.5 million of their initial award. For those that don't know, Blue Origin was formed by Amazon creator Jeff Bezos in 2000 with the mission to lower the cost of sending people into space. During his high school valedictorian speech, he mentioned that he wanted to build hotels and colonies in space.
Oh, that'd be cool.
According to reports, during 2018, Bezos announced plans to liquidate around $1 billion worth of Amazon stock each year to fund Blue Origin. Recently, the company announced that they were going to auction off a seat for a civilian to get on board the New Shepard, their spacecraft for tourism. The craft is set to take off in July 2021. At the time of writing, the auction is currently at $2.8 million.
Wow.
During 2002, Musk was the majority stockholder of PayPal. So when eBay came in and purchased the service for $1.5 billion, Musk personally received $180 million. With the new financing, Musk decided to form SpaceX in the same year. During 2001, he had an idea for the Mars Oasis. This project would consist of a sealed chamber being sent to the Red Planet via a spacecraft. The chamber would contain dry nutrient gel and seeds, so once it lands, there's a small greenhouse ready to go.
Wow, that's
Very
crazy.
similar to Matt Damon's situation in The Martian.
Man.
At the time, Musk pledged $20 million to this idea. However, once he realized it would be much, much more, he created SpaceX to help lower fees for space exploration. Final fact finish. Looking to create their own version of the United States' GPS satellite system, the European Union developed Galileo. Named after the Italian astronomer Galileo Galilei, The original cost of the program is stated to be 10 billion euros, around
Wow.
$12.2 billion. However, it has been estimated that over 20 years of its lifetime, it could cost 22.2 billion euros, or $27.1 billion. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
I mean, that video was pretty interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's cool to see them both striving to get to space. Like, I've always wanted to go. I mean, who knows if I would be around anymore. I mean, hopefully, more of us will be able to. Because I feel like for the longest time, it's been always like, focus on this one company, taking their time, But now, since I guess in this perspective, it's good, this competition, because it's forcing it to speed up and innovation. And so, I mean, maybe there'll be a time, maybe 30 years or whatever, or 40 years, where more and more people will be able to go. But I just wish there wasn't so much drama between these two. I wish they would work with each other, but I guess they have their own agendas and reasons why they're doing it. I mean, maybe it's for profit, maybe it's pride or ego, or maybe they just don't agree with each other and the way they do it. But it's pretty exciting, and I hope they are able to make it more affordable for us in the future. And if you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, and thank you very much.